Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Carson Porter and this is the Inspire YouTube channel. This is our first episode, so look forward to more and hopefully better episodes. Hopefully we're getting better as we go. Whole purpose of this channel is to talk about things that not only are going to help tend towards yours and mine and everybody's success, but it's to talk about the things that we don't normally talk about, or maybe to talk about the things that we talk about but in a sense that they don't get talked about. In other words, we want to have the conversations that people aren't having, and that's why they're not changing. They're not making the decision to do more and have more and be more, achieve more, and we want to help be a part of that and I guess help guide that conversation. Hopefully you can see the screen behind me. Wanted to talk a little bit today about how do you achieve, how do you accelerate your progress towards your goals, your success, etc., etc., etc. Had this conversation with actually 2 or 3 different people just yesterday. I get calls, several times a week, sometimes several times a day about, hey, what are you doing? Why is this working for you? Why are you doing so good with this? Why this? Why that? And I keep having this conversation with people, and every now and then I feel like somebody gets it, but for the most part I feel like people just aren't getting it. And so I really want to, I guess, kind of break it down and show you what tends towards success. And keep in mind, I'm not perfect. I get that. I'm not a dumbass. But at the end of the day, I know this works. I know it's true. And I know if I could do more of it in the right way, I would be more successful myself. So that's why we're having this conversation. So I want to start with our good friend here, Albert Einstein. Everybody better know who Albert Einstein is. He's the father of the atom bomb. Theory of relativity, etc., 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 right? So we know who Albert Einstein is. We've breached that topic. We've crossed that bridge, however you want to put it. Albert Einstein came up with his famous equation, right? You learned about it in 3rd grade. You're sitting there coloring, or maybe you were doing like I was doing, and you take your pen and try and dig a hole in like that little edge on the corner of your desk. You have 6 different holes there for no damn reason other than the fact that you were bored, right? And your teacher's talking at you about this famous equation and what it means, and you're just like, man, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I'm never going to use this. Well, I want to provide an alternative interpretation for Albert Einstein's famous equation. And I know some of you are going to argue, well, he didn't come up with it. He just perfected it. He did this. He did that. Whatever. Okay. Not going there. But I want to come up with, or I want to put out there an alternative description of what this is. So this equation is E equals mc squared, okay? Where E is energy, m is mass, c is speed of light. Square the damn thing and, right? You've got it all taken care of. And this is what we're going to redefine. So E, still going to be energy, okay? And keep in mind, this is the equation. This is the recipe for your success, for anything you want to do, whether it's in your work life, your family life, your spiritual life, your physical life, whatever the case may be, your emotional life, right? Whatever the case may be, if you have a goal, the way to go achieve it, maybe even supersede your own expectation, is through these means, okay? And I know this is probably kind of hard to read, so I'll read it for you. But energy, okay? Oxford Dictionary defines energy as the strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. I'll read that again. The strength and vitality required for sustained physical or mental activity. What does that mean? What that means, energy, or how do you apply that? Energy is the driving force behind your goals. If you have the energy to accomplish your goals, you're going to accomplish them. Most of us don't have a problem of not having a goal. We all dream. We all, sit in our armchair late at night, rocking back and forth, watching The Shield. We have a box of Cheez-Its and a half-eaten chocolate bunny hanging out of our mouth. And we're like, man, I'd like that thing, We have hopes. We have goals. We have dreams. Most of us set these things. Some of us do a lot better job than others, but we all have these things in place, okay? We may even say, oh, well, to accomplish this, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to hit these, this series of smaller goals in order to achieve this larger goal. We're not stupid, as human beings, we're actually pretty smart. We're really smart. In fact, we're too smart. We keep looking for this magic pill. What is the magic pill? I feel like I'm not setting my goals right. I feel like I'm not setting my actions to my goals right. No, we all know. We're not stupid. All we have to do is be honest with ourselves and have the energy to go do these things. So how do we gain this energy, right? We're looking for the secret ingredient. Energy is the secret ingredient. Goals aren't the secret ingredient. We have them. Now, can you set goals better? Absolutely. Can you take better steps towards those goals? Absolutely. If your goal is to run a marathon, you would be better off getting to that goal by running, not riding a bike. Now, riding a bike may get you to that goal, just not as well as running will if your goal is to run a marathon. Just different forms of activity, right, with different outcomes. Energy provides the desire. It provides the work ethic and the motivation for continued growth and achievement. Okay, so the question is, how do we gain energy? Where do I get energy to go do this? How do you work like that? You know, I get told all the time, you're a workaholic, you do this, you do that. I'm having a certain result that I don't disagree with. So, you know, I guess we'll leave that at that. But at the end of the day, the question is, where do we find energy? Okay. Energy is found on the other side of the equation. Remember, E equals, so energy equals, we're going to talk about what makes up energy. The first is mass. M is still going to stand for mass. Mass is a large quantity or an amount of something. It is the volume at which something either exists in or is done in, etc., etc. Okay? Every single goal we have is comprised of the sum of achievement of multiple smaller goals. Okay? When we're talking about success, mass should be thought of as a question. How much are you doing? In other words, how much activity and action are you taking towards the attainment of your goals? Okay? You can tell me you want to run a marathon. You really can. Personally, I don't want to run a marathon. Look at me. Do I look like I want to run a marathon? I don't. You know, maybe at some point my heart will soften and I'll say, you know what, today I want to be skinny and I'm going to go run a marathon. I guess you don't have to be skinny to run a marathon, but regardless, it's just never been a goal of mine, okay? But the question is how much activity and action are you taking towards the attainment of your goals? If you say you want to run this marathon and all you're willing to do is run a mile a day and never push yourself to that second mile, that third mile, that 15th mile, that 20th mile, if you're never willing to do that, you're not going to run a marathon. That's just the plain and simple of it, okay? Mass should be thought of as, like I say, this question, how much are you doing? You know, when I talk to guys, I'm in the insurance industry, and they'll say, or they'll ask me, you know, well, how are you doing this? Well, I'm seeing more people. Well, how are you seeing more people? Well, I'm talking to more people. Well, how are you talking to more people? I'm just talking to more people, okay? It's not a, you know, I don't have a wand. This isn't Harry Potter. I'm not out there, you know, and all of a sudden they flock in and want to talk to me. I have to go put myself in that situation and have my people go put themselves in that situation, and we talk to more people because we're there, because we're doing the activity, okay? We have to take, so mass, one side of this equation. Mass times c, and c is where our big change is going to be. In Einstein's equation, c is the speed of light. And, I mean, I'm sure we could find some metaphorical re-representation for speed of light in our equation. However, for the sake of our conversation, c will stand for equal portions. So equal portions of consistency and persistency, okay? Consistency refers to the content or the makeup of something. In this case, this should reflect your types of goals and actions you are taking to achieve your larger purpose. So, you know, too often we think of, oh, I've got to be consistent, which means I've got to do this day in and day out. And yes, that kind of fits it, but that's more persistency. Consistency is what are you doing? Like we said, if you want to run a marathon, your best bet is to train and do things that tend towards success when it comes to running. Run more. Lift weights in such a manner that it would strengthen the muscles you use to run with, right? Do lots of cardio. Eat right. These are the things that are consistent to that goal. If you want that end goal, you got to take the actions that get you there. If you want to drive to Albuquerque at some point, you know, if you're in southern Utah like I am, you got to hop on, you know, I-40 at some point, somewhere, you know, maybe get on 89 down to Flagstaff and get on the 40 and head over to freaking Albuquerque. If you fail to get on I-40, you're not going to get there. And you may get there, you may find an alternative route, but it takes you twice as long. Don't take twice as long. Don't be self-defeating. Do the things, be consistent with the things, have the consistency of things that gets you to your goal in the quickest, simplest, easiest way, so that you can move on to the next big thing. Nobody wants to spend their whole life achieving one thing. We want to achieve that thing, feel really good about it, pat ourselves on the back a little bit, and move on to the next big thing, right? So persistency is defined by the Oxford Dictionary. Once again, you'll have to pardon the definitions, but you know, they do a good job of it. They do it for a living. I don't. So I'm going to go with what they say. Persistence is defined as firm or obstinate continuance in a course of action in spite of difficulty or opposition. Too often, like I say, we confuse consistency with persistence, and we confuse persistence with consistence. We've got to have equal portions of both. We have to do the right things the right amount of times over and over and over and over again. Okay? So the way this whole equation goes together, let's see here. Yeah. The way this whole equation goes together, if you remember right, E equals mc squared. So we've got to times our mass. We have to take a large quantity of action towards our goals. Large quantity of action towards our goals. And if you don't want to take any action, you have to pay other people to take action. This is what's called advertising, right? And advertising is expensive, and if you've got the money to do it, good on you. However, most of us don't, and so mass needs to be your action. What are you doing to go accomplish your goals? And how consistent and persistent are you being? And then we've got to square the damn thing. Okay, we've got to take all that you're doing, this massive action, and all these things you're doing and being persistent at, etc., 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 and go do them twice over. Okay, we've got to continually square it. And when you get to that point where you're comfortable at that higher level, that squared level, do it again. Our capacity for good increases as we push, as we drive. Okay, Ella Wheeler Wilcox. And like I say, I know you probably have a hard time seeing this. I'll work on that in the next video here. There is no chance, no fate, no destiny, or no, I'm sorry, there is no chance, no destiny, no fate. We better get it right. No chance, no destiny, no fate that can circumvent or hinder or control the firm resolve of a determined soul. So I first heard this saying, my high school football coach gave us a little card. I had it in my wallet for years till some jackass stole my wallet, and you know, there went my little card with this on there and my hunter safety card, and you know, at the time I thought I was cool carrying my social security card around, and so that's all been resolved. That's been a long time ago. But this phrase has always hit me with some amount of power. I remember growing up, right? When I was, not that I'm so old now, but when I was a little bit younger, I was really worried about some things, really worried about, you know, getting some bills, getting to where I wanted to be, accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish, taking care of myself and my family. I don't know if any of that rings a bell with any of you guys. But I was talking with my grandpa, okay? And in his wisdom, he told me something that always kind of stuck, and it's right along the same line. He told me, if you're willing to get up every single day and work your ass as hard as you've ever worked your ass before, every single day, and every single day you're willing to work your ass a little bit harder than you worked your ass the day before, you will always be able to not only have everything that you need, but a whole lot of what you want too. Okay? Too many of us think that the 40-hour work week is enough, and it's not. Guys, it's not. Now, it may be enough to meet your job requirement. Hell, it may be all that you're allowed to do. But if you have a bigger goal than just paying your bills, if you want to attain more things, you know, yeah, 20 years down the road, maybe you can work 40 hours a week, or hell, maybe 4 hours a week. But you can't get there doing that. That doesn't mean, you need to go in to the distribution center you work at and work 80 hours a week at that distribution center. No, you've got to spend some extra time working on yourself. If you go home after your job and you turn everything off but the football game and the plate of nachos in front of your face, you are not moving forward anymore. That is just how it is. And we can't afford to not move forward anymore. We have to be determined. We have to have that firm resolve. Because if we do, there is no chance, there is no destiny, there is no fate that can circumvent or hinder us from our goals. We will accomplish those things. It's not fairy dust magic. It's math. It's just math. 2 + 2 has always equaled 4 unless you throw something else in the mix that changes the equation. So quit throwing other shit in the mix. Quit being self-defeating. It's math. 2 + 2 = 4. Go do 2, and then go do 2, and have the outcome of 4. That's what it is. While consistency and persistence are hugely important, remember to be honest enough with yourself to know the difference between pushing a boulder uphill and pushing a rope uphill. Okay? Big point I want to drive is that too many times we get caught up in these catchphrases that, oh, I'm just, I'm paying my dues. I'm, putting it in now and it'll all pay out later. There is a difference, guys. There's a difference between pushing a boulder uphill and pushing a rope uphill. And I want to point that difference out real quick. Number one, if you're pushing a rope uphill, it's never going to get to the top. A boulder will get to the top. It's harder than shit, and it only gets heavier as you go until you crest that summit and that boulder takes off down the other way. That's what you want to be doing. That's what you want to be doing. Pushing a rope uphill, number one, you're never going to get there, and even if you did, it's still not going to roll back. You're going to have to push it back down the hill or drag it or whatever you want to do. Okay? Just imagine yourself pushing a rope uphill. The whole point of this is don't do things that don't tend towards your goals and expect them to get you to your goal. They won't. They're not going to. If you really sincerely believe a Whopper a day, as delicious as they are, perfect meat to vegetable to bun ratio, if you sincerely believe a Whopper a day is going to help you run a better marathon, you're wrong. You're just wrong. I once worked with a guy, really interesting guy, really nice guy. We were working in auto mechanics. My dad's an auto mechanic, kind of grew up doing it, and I was in high school at the time, I think. So I'm there sweeping the floors, acting like I'm important, and he's on his smoke break, and I don't even remember how it came up, but he started telling me about how he continues to smoke, especially right before he goes and does I think National Guard training or something on the weekends, because it helps open up his lungs, and he can breathe better, and therefore he can run more and pack more weight. And bullshit. What a load of crock excuses. Now, he may be able to do the runs and everything and still smoke. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is smoking does not help you run better. Period. We know it decreases lung capacity. It's science. It's math. It's not disputable. It's not something we can say, oh yeah, no, that's wrong. No, it is as tangible as you and me, okay? Don't do things that are self-defeating. Be honest with yourself. Do things that tend towards the goal you have and the result you want to have. Square it, okay? Many of us believe ourselves to be too busy, too tired, too distracted, too overwhelmed, already doing too much, to this, to that. In the end, the only thing we are when we're in that mindset is we're too lazy, and we're too cheap, and we're too apathetic. We can't afford to be that lazy, that cheap, or that apathetic. I'm sorry, but if we're working a 40-hour work week, and keep in mind, in a 40-hour work week, there's 5 eighths, let's say. In 5 eighths, a company is stoked, from a productivity standpoint, if you can hit a 30 to 50% efficiency rate. So let's say 50%, that means 4 hours of the day a person was productive if they worked an 8-hour day. What are they doing with the other 4 hours of that day? Think how much more you could accomplish if you worked the other 4 hours a day. If you didn't waste 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there and think about that phone call for 5 minutes, make that phone call, and then ponder on the phone call you just made for 5 more minutes. And if you do that 20 times a day, you wasted half your day. You wasted half your working day, and so you only have half the result you wanted to have. In addition to that, there's 24 hours in a day. So even if you worked all 8 hours and you slept for 8 hours, there's still 8 hours in a day. You know, if you work 8 and sleep 8, there's 8 hours in a day you've got to be accountable for. Now, I know you want to spend it with your family and with your friends. That doesn't mean it has to be spent in an unproductive manner. Your family and your friends should be there along for the ride with you. They should want to grow with you, and you should want to grow with them. As we grow and achieve our capacity to continue to grow and achieve expands exponentially. Don't sell yourself short. What we're saying here is, as you grow, you know, we may say, oh, well, that goal's too big for now. Okay, break down the smaller goals. What is it going to take to get there? Achieve the first one. When you achieve the first one, you will innately gain the ability to achieve the second one, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, yes, when you were at the bottom, this high goal was unachievable. But because you achieved those little things along the way, your capacity to grow and achieve grew as well. It expanded, and now you're able to have that thing and hold on to it and maintain it. Okay. Once you've found the right combination of what to do and how to do it and how much of it to do, set your sights higher and square that goal like we were talking about. Take everything that you can do, you want to do, you know you should be doing, and double it. Double it. A lot of people are like, oh man, I feel bad because I never hit a goal. Take feelings out of the mix. Take feelings out of the mix. Personally, I'd rather set my goal higher, fall short every time, and have this much, than set my goal lower and hit it every single time. I'd rather have more and never actually achieve my goal. Okay? Take feelings out of the mix. This isn't about, you know, feeling good. This is about knowing you're good. The only way you can know you're good is when you supersede everybody's expectation of you, as well as your own. Okay? See if I can find where I'm at here. That's my last page. Anyways, okay. So to wrap it up, guys, E equals MC squared. Energy is the magic pill. If you want to know how to go get something, go get energy and then go do something with that energy. The way to get energy is to find some, you know, set your goal, figure out all the things it's going to take, you know, if your goal is to bake a cake, what ingredients go in the cake? Think of that. That's consistency, okay? What ingredients go in this cake? Figure that out, put them in the cake, and then keep putting them in the cake. Make sure that at no point this cake has anything but these ingredients, and then do it a bunch. Do a bunch. If you want the biggest cake that's ever made, you don't need 3 eggs. You need 6 eggs. You need 12 eggs. You need 24 eggs, 48 eggs. Keep doubling it. Every single time you come around, every day you wake up, redouble your efforts, redouble your goal, square it. Don't even double it, square it. There's a difference in meaning here, okay? Do what it takes. Do it a lot and keep doing it. And I promise you, you'll have the energy to go and achieve everything you want to have. Thank you guys for listening. I know this ran a little bit long. I hope you guys got something from it. Look forward to more here on our YouTube channel, Inspire. And look forward to some feedback as well. Thanks, guys.